GM everybody, and welcome to this week's Wake and Jake. We're finally in December. Things are heating up. We're feeling good. The holidays are around the corner. It's exciting times, man. There's so much going on. I mean, there's so much to talk about. Jake, GM, how are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Yeah, it's feeling like the holidays here in Michigan. I got snow coming down, watching it out my window now. Feeling like the start of the holiday season. So that's always fun. And I get to dodge it a little bit. I'm heading out to my honeymoon late this week, so in a few days here. So that'll be nice. But excited to dig into stuff before that happens. Yeah, a lot to talk about lately, man. But yeah, how's the weekend? How you doing?
Good, up and down. We're gonna cover a lot of the stuff, but yeah, shitcoins down, a lot of them, and other stuff up. So all in all, very very good week. And yeah, I think you're choosing the right time for your honeymoon there, because December could be a little rocky. So get it out of the way now and come back in January ready to kick butt in this space. But yeah, everything's good, bro.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. I bet we probably break 100K like as soon as my plane lands, and I miss like a huge parabolic run,
That'll
but that's
be
all right.
that's probably what's gonna happen. Yeah.
I think there'll be plenty of opportunity here for like the next year or so. So I'm not too worried.
Exactly. I mean, with the experience we have in this space now, even if we miss a week, like we're okay with it. Like it's not like it was last cycle where I did not want to miss a single second of what was going on. I felt like I needed to make my money now, and that actually ended up to a lot of maybe losses down the line for me because I stayed too
Yeah,
involved. But I think yeah, stepping back is important.
yeah, we can for sure talk through more of that, but yeah, man, let's get started with macro. And what we're seeing here across the board. Bitcoin up 2% on the week, or sorry, I had to refresh. Up 0.6%, it looks like, on the week. ETH up 3.3%. ETH continues to show some strength here. The ETH BTC ratio has been steadily climbing for the last couple weeks now. Or about like 10 or 11 days, I should say. We'll see if that strength continues and if we hit a bottom or if it rolls back over again. Solana, on the other hand, not looking good, and also we'll get into this more in a little bit later after the macro section, but has been replaced as the third crypto, down 7.3%. Looks like a lot of rotation might be happening from Solana to XRP, which is now the number three, with a just absolutely insane run that it's had, even within just like the past couple days. But up 84% in the on the week, which is a lot for a $154 billion market cap coin. Um, XRP Army has really been showing out, and then Solana I think fell under Tether as well, which is number four. So yeah, interesting movement. We haven't had movement in quite a while. In the top five here, so um, yeah, we'll see how things shake up again, but we'll stick to Bitcoin for right now. Sitting at about 96.4 at the moment. Feels like strange territory. We have tried a couple times, to get up to that 100K level. It's certainly proven to be a pretty big resistance. Bouncing back, reaching up into the 99Ks, and then falling back here. Couple takes that I've seen. Again, I'm not a macro expert. I just try and follow people who I think are. Following Don Alt, he's still, um, pretty damn bullish, I'd say, on a longer term horizon. We just closed the monthly, obviously like 2 days ago, and it was just a huge green monthly candle breakout. So that's really good to see. Usually, you're not going to get a crazy retrace with that kind of big of candle. If it did, that'd be very bad. Um, but certainly we can, get maybe like under 90K or so. And it would still be a healthy breakout, I would say. But all things looking pretty good. I know Web3 Quant is even more bullish. He's notably said that he thinks we're in the next leg right now, and 120 to 130K is what we get to in this next leg here for Bitcoin, which would obviously be pretty excellent here. I'll link a tweet in voice hangout chat. He notably called the local bottom dip about a week ago. I think it was on like the 26th or 27th, where we hit just under 91K for Bitcoin. Um, and then he tweeted, I think this was a few days ago. Yeah, the 29th. So a few days ago, saying it's on for this next leg up here. So it seems like he's anticipating, we don't go back under that 91K, and that we in this next leg, we're gonna reach up into past 100K territory finally, and then well beyond as well, which would be obviously excellent. But we'll see what happens. Bitcoin's kind of been all over the place within the past day or so, especially this morning, just kind of bouncing all over the place between like 98K and under 95K. And yeah, on the ETH side of things, ETH has shown a lot of strength, and it seems like it will continue to. I think Don did just recently tweet, he could see us going back to like 2,900, which wouldn't certainly wouldn't be ideal, but it would also cleanse out obviously a lot of leverage, and um, he still thinks even if we do go down to 2,900, we would still continue that uptrend, past 4K into new all-time highs. With a target, I was listening to his show on Friday, I think, and he had a target of like I think 8 to 10K for this cycle, if not more. So I still think there's a lot of upside here for ETH. But we might have some chop here in December with how much we've ran over the past month or so. It's such a green November that we had. We might get a little bit of a pullback here before we continue up, only as people are going a little bit high on leverage. I've kind of noticed this myself with just like sharing trades, and I've certainly been more on leverage than lately. And then I've learned from past mistakes that when I start getting a little bit too greedy with leverage, that's usually a good time to stop. And when I start seeing new people get into leverage because they're seeing and win, and because they're seeing other people win, then that's also usually a good time to stop, because people are winning a little bit too much with leverage, and it gets over. The trades become a little bit overcrowded. People are taking on too much risk, and the market likes to, pull back in those situations and reset a bit before it can continue going up. So I'm a little bit wary at the moment with where things are. I think there's a chance we could get a decent pullback. Like I don't know, 5 to 10% on Bitcoin, and then it would be greater on alts before we resumed up only status. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Yeah, how do you feel about it being this? I feel like nobody's talking about it this year, but we talk about it every other year, and somehow we always stay overinvested, and a lot of people like take hits. How do you feel about it being December and people locking in profit usually in December, like early to mid December? I feel like other years we've seen it where we're all super excited, and then all of a sudden this period starts and things start coming down after running heavily. We saw it last bull too, and then like right before January, I'd say a couple of days before January, leading into January, people start front running the market and buying back in. But do you feel that what could happen this year too? I mean, I feel like it's just being overlooked at this point because people are so bullish.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to time these kind of things. I I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to like time of year. I still think in general, like the whole winter season, I think is gonna be really good to us. Q1 as well. Um, Obviously, if things are really heating up, then just like being more aggressive, taking profits makes sense. But I'm currently looking at like alt or 100K break, personally, and then I think we'll probably zoom quite a bit higher from there. I think there'll be quite a bit of euphoria after 100K break, and then maybe like a week or two of that euphoria, and then probably chill out for a while. It's kind of like what I'm looking to. I know like Don is one who I follow closely. He thinks that we probably retrace before Trump gets into office, because there's a lot of execution risk, I'd say, with Trump. because he's made a lot of big promises. But maybe those promises come true, maybe they don't. But it also could, even if they do come true, they also could take time. And a lot of time, the crypto market doesn't like waiting super long. They probably expect things to be done right away. And if they're not, then I think there is certainly risk there of the market cooling off from the euphoria of the promise of like a Bitcoin strategic reserve and a new SEC chair that's super bullish crypto and like any other type of regulation involving crypto in general, because there has been like a huge inflow of news regarding that. So I could see a bit of a cool off prior to um, mindful hop like
I spent all the way. Barrels on cocktails.
I should have left that one going. Oh wait, I did. Oh, someone else server muted at the
oh,
same
I
time
think
as
we
me.
server muted at the same
Yeah, yeah,
time. So I mean,
exactly. Yeah. Hey, the song was good. I would have left it, but
he just wanted to bring some Christmas cheer, I guess.
exactly. Yeah, he was doing it on purpose. He wanted some background music for our show.
A nice guy. Oh, that's great.
I was smiling the whole time. I almost left it on, man.
Maybe if he was a little more on tune, we could have kept
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. We could have all started singing along.
Um, but yeah, I think it's just my point is being that I think ideally, hopefully, this all comes at the same time where we break 200K before Trump comes in office and we get this temporary euphoria period. And then I can perfectly time the sells into that, and then wait for some retrace and then get back in and have more fun again. That's kind of like where my head is at on this kind of stuff. I still think we'll have a good December. Like, there'll probably be some retraces within it, but I think we still have a good time this December.
Yeah, I mostly agree too. I just think yeah, people will cash out because they want to lock in profit and want to come back in later. But I think those dips will get bought up so fast this year because it's so bullish. That like most people, you know what I mean? Yeah, sure, the states and whatever control a lot of this market and everything we do is very dependent on the money that comes from there, but it's so worldwide now that I think that it's just going to be opportunity for people. They're going to be like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll take your fucking crypto that you don't want anymore, no problem. Buy higher in January. You care about taxes, no problem. Come buy higher in 2 weeks from now. We don't care. So yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think I'm staying fully involved at least for now, and we'll see. I'll time my exits a little later, but definitely not the time to be selling any crypto. I think. It's just too crazy. We're so close to hitting 100K, and even if we don't do it right away, I mean, we will do it. And I think after that, that will become the floor. So yeah, exciting times ahead, man. And you know how it goes, right? Bitcoin runs, and then what's next? Altcoin season, and here we are. I think we're as Bitcoin went sideways, kind of like what we touched on last week. Bitcoin's been going
Yep.
sideways all week, right? And what happened? We saw all these coins just start flying, right? And the most hated rally in crypto is currently underway, Jake. And what's that? It's XRP. Your boy Don Alt hit it so well, and I should have followed
I
his call. And I know you're probably gonna touch on it, but the guy, man, he called it at 55 cents and said the move up is loading. And I was looking at that post and I'm like, bro, I believe in this. I think it's gonna go high, but I'm not looking for a 2x. That was the biggest mistake that I've ever made. Okay, because it wasn't just a 2x. It's like a 7 or 8x at this point. If I'm gonna post the weekly chart, and I think people are gonna. I don't think they're even expecting this, but I'll post you the weekly chart that I see on KuCoin, and it's actually mind blowing. Like, check this out. Every one of those bars is a week. And look at
Yeah.
this last week. It's just ridiculous. Okay, it went sideways for years. It was at 50 cents, and I'll tell you what. I've in the past I was always like, even especially last cycle, I was a big XRP hitter. I figured everybody was in this coin for nothing. It was not moving. And this cycle, I'm actually super happy for people because they got destroyed for a whole cycle plus, right? They just stuck to this coin that they loved so much, while everybody just basically hated on them forever and ever. And they're finally getting their rally, like after almost 2 cycles of just waiting for it to pop up, right? And even last cycle, it did numbers, but I mean, the only downside I see with this is that they're so in love with this coin that they're never gonna sell. So they're just gonna round trip it again when it comes time for it to crash because there's way too
Mm.
many people invested. The diehard fans are just gonna hold it straight to zero. But yeah, give us your thoughts, Jake.
Yeah, man. I think if you follow Don Alt, you'll like understand why I'm like so bullish on what Don says. He's like been like, dead on a lot of trades that even just like CT in general consensus, a lot of good traders like haven't even like talked about. And XRP was a big one. He was bull posting since like 50, yeah, like you said, like 50 cents, 55 cents or whatever, and it's gone absolutely crazy since then, 5 or 6x. Yeah, man, I had some XRP longs at like under like 60 cents that would be absolutely printing right now if I still held them.
What'd you close them
But
at?
I mean, they're still good. I closed them at like, let me think. I don't remember. I still made good money on them, but
You know what the problem
um,
is, eh? It's the fact that we were shitcoining and our time span, like our brains are so like in short period, like locked into short periods that we don't think like I did the same thing with Doge. I saw it at 11 cents and I'm thinking this is the perfect time to buy. And I was looking at it and I'm like, 2 3 days later it's still at 12 13 cents. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna sell this. It's not moving. And we have to like rewire our brains a little bit to think that some of these coins, we used to know this, but some of these coins take weeks to load. You just got to be patient. Let your money park there and just wait, man. You just get your good entry and wait.
um, yeah, man. And you mentioned alt season. The Bitcoin dominance chart is a really good chart to kind of track for this type of stuff for alt season. I linked it, the trading view in voice hangout here, where you can see like even if you just go to like the daily, you can see it's like basically trending up like crazy since what's this, September of 2022. Sort of like the past 2 years, and then just within like the past 2 weeks, it's just a sharp red candle down, and kind of divergent from this, up only, and that's a pretty good sign. Again, Bitcoin dominance is just the total market cap of Bitcoin relative to the total market cap of all crypto. So right now it's at like 56% of all crypto is the total market cap of Bitcoin. And this is a good one to track just to like recognize when alt season is upon us. And it's certainly looking like it, based on this chart, with Bitcoin kind of reversing and a lot of alts obviously ripping, XRP being the main one, but ETH as well, gaining some ground back as well in these past couple weeks. Um, so yeah, that's interesting to see. I think, yeah, with the XRP stuff, there's a lot of stuff kind of coinciding, I'd say, that has been bullish XRP. It certainly could continue to run. It's been pretty parabolic. Like, I am not someone who would want to buy at this price, but I guess I can at least, we've talked about it certainly in past episodes, of why, it seemed decent and it makes sense. It's like very normie coded coin. I know like people who have been in crypto in like the past cycles, like normies that I like used to like work with, like coworkers. I remember they would show me XRP so hard. They were just like such big believers in it, and it's like almost like the TradFi normie coin, I'd say, because um it has like this, like, it's not even like a meme coin to them. It's more so like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just like they can like justify it, I would say, like based on its utility of why it's like such a good coin. And it obviously has like a lot of the headwinds uh gone now with the dismissal of the SEC case, the big case against XRP. And now the huge news is these ETF filings that are coming in for XRP. There's been, I think, 4 different ones now over the last like couple weeks. I'm pretty sure. Here's a link in voice hangout chat to a tweet. It looks like Wisdom Tree Funds just filed for one this morning, and then that joins Bitwise, 21 shares, Canary Funds, have all applied for XRP ETFs now. So it seems like the floodgates are opening a bit, and that we have Bitcoin, we have ETH, and now it seems with the SEC's or the dismissal of the SEC case against XRP, that there's really not any headwinds for these ETF filers to get an ETF on board. So they're starting to jump in, and that certainly is helping pump the price as well. Just also just the in general more normie adoption of crypto and people coming in now that Bitcoin's pumped quite a bit and is heading towards new all-time highs.
Yeah, XRP diamond handers, holding that floor and then just like like zombies biting other people to come into their cult. That's been pretty crazy to see. It feels like all the normies, that's the first thing they jump into is XRP. Anytime I hear somebody getting into crypto, even last cycle, XRP, I had to almost fight them to drop this coin and go and do something else with their money. But their cycle is finally here, man. It's good. And it's one of those things where I won't jump in because it's way too high already. Like even at $1.50, I wouldn't have jumped in. I found it a little crazy because there's so much stuff running 3-4x anyway that why would I risk something that's already up 3x on altcoins? Um, and even now, like for people like us, like you can't short it because there's so much bullishness, but you can't really jump in either because what's your upside? So I'm sidelining, and that's fine. I'm just happy for people, right? Like there's no real play for me there. I mean, I'm not gonna risk shorting something that's this high just because it's this high when there's such like underlying good things going for it, so much bullishness for it, and so many people diamond handing it. More than likely, you're just gonna get squeezed and stopped out. So I figured, just let it ride, and it's good for everybody. When something like this happens, it's just good. It's good for the market. Money's gonna end up rotating anyway by the people that are there for the flip. So other alts are gonna run, and from there, like we'll see shitcoins rise again when things go sideways. It's just the natural progression of things. Do you have any other
Yeah.
coins you want to talk about on altcoins? I
Um
saw something. Go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to mention also there's like other dino coins as they call them, which are
Yes,
like dinosaur coins
old
that
old
have
man
been
coin,
pumping like crazy
older
as well.
coins.
Our favorite ADA Cardano has actually been absolutely ripping. It's been like up only for the past month or so.
That has to be
Yeah, it's
since
up. It was like
sorry, go ahead.
30 cents a month ago and now it's $1.20.
What? It went that high? I
So
haven't even looked at
yeah,
it.
it's like 4x in the past month.
Amazing.
Um and then also like Litecoin, XLM, uh yeah, some of these other ones. Dot, Polkadot. But yeah, they're all seeming to catch quite a bit here.
I think
Um,
Ada
with the
started
ripple
when
effect.
when they said they were going to use it for the government, or they were gonna no they were gonna meet up with the creator of Ada, right? I think that's what happened. They said they were gonna sit down with him and discuss I don't know what, and I think that's from there that it started really pumping about a month ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. Um, yeah, Link as well, Pocket Change. That one's been ripping lately.
Yeah, he just mentioned in chat that they partnered with 21x to make yeah, a tokenized securities trading and settlement system out in Europe. So that's cool. I mean, we're starting to see Chainlink make big partnerships again. They have a good business model, and they do something well that other people can't really do. So it's fun to see them go. It was one of my favorite coins of last cycle, and I made a lot of money on it. It got me started, so I'm always gonna love XRP. I mean, not XRP. Whoa, let's take that back. I meant Chainlink. Please don't shoot me. Wow,
Yeah,
XRP is really
Chainlink
on my
actually
mind.
seems like it's a pretty use case. I know there are a lot of big protocols use Chainlink.
Yeah, the
I haven't looked into it
oracles.
too much, but the tech the
It's on
technical
chain
side,
oracles.
but
We're not gonna go through it all like deep,
yeah.
but it's on chain oracles basically like a good way of randomizing stuff. And then
Mhm.
anybody could use that, right? Either games or like yeah, they're just very good at data.
Yeah. I think just in general, this is a pretty good um it's a pretty good indication of like we talked about this in previous shows too, like when we started to get towards all-time high and break out that like when normal people come in back and even back into crypto it doesn't mean they're just going to buy your bags. Like a lot of times they'll buy stuff that they're already used to, and that certainly has happened with obviously XRP. Dogecoin is one that ran quite a bit as well since then, and ADA and all these other ones. And meme coins, the bigger, newer meme coins have largely underperformed. Stuff like Whiff, stuff like Popcat, um, Pepe, even they've all kind of underperformed relative to these other bigger alts. I think it's a good segue into meme coin stuff and what we're looking at. It seems just like there's so many of these big coins now that they're just like there continues to be like rotation after rotation on these big ones, and people once it hits like a billion or 2 billion, people are just like, all right, what's the next one to hit a billion or 2 billion? And right now, the big mover is Mudang. After we see a Coinbase listing, which is pretty rare for meme coins, they did just list Whiff and what was the other one they listed?
I think
Pepe.
Pepe. Yeah, Pepe.
Yeah, yeah. Those are already 2-3 billion or whatever. Mudang was only 300 million at the time. So I think this could have a little bit different effect than those ones, which obviously saw like the initial pump, but didn't really do much after. In the days after. This could be a different case here with Mudang, given that it's a much lower market cap than what those were. Probably like a tenth of what those market caps were at the time of listing. So I could actually see this playing out a little bit more, and it's also a bit newer. And it's more of a normie meme, right? Whereas Whiff was very, like crypto centric, crypto native. Pepe as well, but Pepe was more of like an internet culture meme. Whereas Mudang is just like just a viral coin, and I could actually see Mudang do pretty well here. With this Coinbase listing, given that it is at such a low market cap, it's going to be by far the lowest market cap meme on Coinbase. Especially if obviously the return of, as I keep mentioning, the return of the normies comes. So past 100k, 100k Bitcoin and all that, it just makes sense that people would want to grab like the one that could give the biggest multiples, and it's a coin that they recognize, right? I'm sure they've all seen the videos, right? In the memes and whatever posted everywhere. So, in my opinion, I actually really like Mudang around these levels. I think there's quite a bit of upside from here, at least to like a billion and a little bit past.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's cool. I love the fact that Mudeng got so big. Regret selling it though, that's for sure. But hey, it is what it is. It's the game we play. I do think there will be another meme coin cycle though. Like altcoins are running, they're finally having their day, but as soon as they cool off and go sideways, and if the main coins aren't the ones to start running again, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think naturally Whiff and Pepe start catching bids as people are bored and look to rotate some profits. I feel like it's not just a two-way cycle anymore where it just goes from main coins to altcoins and back and forth. I think meme coins slot in there too now, so it might be part of the cycle in some way where you go from main coins to altcoins to meme coins or any other variation of that when money just starts flowing other ways and people start taking profits. So we'll see, man. I don't think it's done. I think those legs up for Whiff and Pepe, the coins that are everywhere, and probably Mudeng too now. Who knows? I think they're just loading and people are accumulating at these levels, and eventually we're gonna see another pump that people aren't really expecting, and they're kind of like FOMOing into just because memes were so hot and people love them. I don't think they're forgotten. I think they're just like set aside for now, right? So we'll see. I hope anyway. I still have bags in those. I should have probably. I knew it was a little bit too frothy, like a month, like 2 3 weeks ago when we were all trading them, and I should have really just sold half my bags of everything at least. But yeah, I just stayed too involved because I saw so many listings coming in. It's okay though. I think long term will be okay for meme coins too. It feels like just last cycle, not even last cycle, just a few months ago, it felt like you'd get these crazy pumps on memes and then they'd crash down 50% or so, and they always presented, I think, good opportunity for people. So as we go sideways and take some hits on some of these coins, even FWOG, I think is at a place where bids are going to start coming in around the 35 cent range. So yeah, man, I'm not bearish on them whatsoever. I just think like the one thing you said that was very important is that there's just so many out there now that money's spread out and it might cause lower pumps. But if one of the if the sector starts moving again, a lot of them will move up. As a result of that though, as a result of money kind of flowing out of this, the ones that have been taking the biggest hit, and I think XRP played a big part in this, and I guess NFTs moving also, but shit coins in general this past, I think since Thanksgiving till now, and I'm sure Thanksgiving might have played a part too, but we've seen a lot less coins run heavy, like we did before. We're seeing a lot less crazy like pumps to millions and millions like we did. It's just I guess the market's kind of deflating on the on shitcoins. Solana's also down, and just in general, I think money's kind of coming out of Solana to go towards base and XRP shitcoins. So the Solana ecosystem taking a little bit of a hit now. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing, but my bags, whatever I was holding on to, and it already wasn't a lot because I saw that happening, so I was being careful. My bags were down heavy on the ones I was holding, and anytime I would try to flip, I felt like I had to be in and out fast these last few days just because of how fast things would come down. But yeah, I don't know if you're seeing anything different. That's just how I'm seeing it. I'm being a little bit like risk off when it comes to Solana shitcoins right now. And with one of the best indicators for that is actually our chat. Like it's slowed down a lot the last few days, and usually it's just flying, man. You get like hundreds of messages per minute, and now it kind of it took a little step back. So you could kind of tell that the market's slowing down.
Yeah, there's just been so much stuff that's. I mean, there's been big pumps though, but it's just like so many. There hasn't been like any sustained stuff. I feel like recently, and a lot of the pumps have been over on base. So, um, I get it. I think, yeah, I'm personally anticipating like, yeah, maybe it'll be over by today, but I'm anticipating a little bit of retrace here. To start off the month, and then hopefully looking for some really good entries after that happens. Just on like the broader market, so I'm not too surprised at the moment. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'd like to open up. We've been locked in, man. But I just want to open up to the community. If you guys have any thoughts around like meme coin stuff or altcoins as we've been going back and forth. Um any takes in line or even contrarian, obviously always welcome.
Yo, GM.
Yo,
Yeah, Maslow.
How we doing, guys? Big
good.
week.
You're a
What's
little
up, man?
low.
Volume.
Yeah,
Yeah, you are a little quiet.
Okay. I'll try to disconnect and come back and see if that works. You guys
thank you,
go ahead.
bro.
Yep.
U.S. government just transferred 10K Bitcoin to Coinbase. About $1 billion, billion
Oh, they're
dollars.
buying Mudang. They're buying Mudang, guys. Get ready. They're selling Bitcoin. They're going into
Yeah,
Mudang.
they're trying to swap for Mudang.
They're trying to scalp Mudang over here. What's up, Aslo? You back?
Testing.
Does that work?
Oh yeah, it's a little
Yeah, there
better.
we go.
Okay, yeah, I tried my phone. Yeah, I have a little bit of. I don't know. It's a contrarian thought. It's just like slightly different, I think. So, and one other comment to mention that I think is useful. Um, 'Cause I was thinking about it. So, first off, I think I fall in the more bullish side for December and moving forward. I kind of look forward at the cycle and I say, to the best of my ability, I'm going to account for, let's say, 4 to 6 months more of this cycle. And that may be conservative and wrong. It may go to the end of next year and whatever. But just in my mind, I'm thinking 4 to 6 months for simplicity's sake. And one of the things that I'm looking at that I think is really important, to this is money supply. And so I think there was a little bit of a tease recently that that Fed's going to increase money supply, and we can actually see that on the St. Louis Fed. If you guys are familiar with that website, I can send it around afterwards. But as important as like the crypto friendly government, which is great, of course, is money supply, and I think we're going to get that too. And I think we may get a tease for that in December, which would of course be really useful. So I kind of see December. I think I don't know the super short time frame. To be honest, like the beginning of this week, I'm a little bit more bullish in general, but I kind of think it's going to be the continuation of ETH's month and then everything falling off of that, and then NFTs continuing and so on and so forth. And when you take that plus like the timing, I think I'm a little bit more bearish on shitcoins and memes, to be honest with you. It's not that I don't think they're going to have another time. It's that NFTs were so down so far, and many of these tokens down so far that to be able to get to anything close to their previous all-time high, and then beyond that for a good cycle is still a ways to go. Whereas meme coins, of course, were super hot, and on top of that, for normies, I think they look at history, even if it's stupid, right? XRP's been around forever. These other things have been around forever, and that's safety to them. So I don't know. That's my take. It's just slightly different than maybe what I heard.
I think that makes sense. I mean, we had a lot of shitcoins running, right, because everybody was bored and nothing was going on. So it was the only thing really to do for months and months. It was just to gamble it all away on shitcoins. But now there's a lot going on. So maybe you're right. We might get like a obviously a longer pump into everything else, and then maybe most meme coins and shit coins do go sideways or stay low just because there's so much attention being diverted to the real substantial stuff finally, right? We waited for that for months. So yeah, I mean, there's still going to be some crazy runs, and I think people that are locked into their trenches are still going to make money, but it just might be a lot more difficult than it was the last couple weeks.
Yeah. I mean, the good news, by the way, is that if that is true, is we're really good at that other sport. Like we're good at shitcoins, but we're really really good at NFT season and minting, and we know the history of tokens and so on. Like we're really good at that. So I think everyone's going to kill it if that is true. It's not that I think memes are going to go away. I think they're going to have another run at some point. But the risk reward at this point, I think, is so heavily tipped towards like the traditional tokens and NFTs that's where all the attention is probably going to be for a while. But then we'll see new NFTs sprout up and mints and all that kind of stuff probably.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
power of MVHQ, right? Go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I like that take. I agree, and we actually had it on the docket to talk about NFTs next, so it's perfect that you made the segue for us, Aslo. I think it's been crazy. The pump that we've had, and I'm pretty excited about. Hopefully a bit of an NFT season. That'd be nice. I mean, you hit it on the dot. I think there's a lot of obviously a lot of nostalgia. I think for us here at MVHQ with NFTs because that's where our bread and butter was last cycle. I think that's where a lot of us, have a ton of experience in trading those and have made a lot of good money. Last cycle on those. So if those were to come back, that'd be excellent and a lot of fun. I think we just had a lot of fun trading NFTs in general. So I'm certainly hoping so. I think there's some really good early signs with the recent pump. Um, I think in general it makes sense given some of the recent things that have happened in the market. I've talked about in the past. Like I've thought that we the NFTs will have like their own renaissance eventually. So at some point in the cycle, I've always thought it was more of a later cycle thing. Just with the thesis that when people get make a lot of money, then they're gonna want to flex it, right? And it makes sense that they'd want to flex it in the digital realm. And that's what NFTs allow you to do via PFPs is the obvious one, but also via like digital art as well, like gen art kind of stuff. Fidenzas, art blocks, X copies, people, all that kind of stuff. So I think there's certainly a place for there's certainly always going to be a place for NFTs. I don't think you see such an insane, massive run up mainstream adoption of NFTs last cycle and then they just die forever. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Um, the retrace certainly makes sense, given how crazy it went and how speculative it was for what the assets were. But I think it's just a matter of when people have extra money in their pockets, then they're looking to flex a little bit, right? And it makes sense a lot in the real world. They do so with cars, with watches, with whatever. That they're going to want to do so in the digital realm as well. And I actually saw a really good take. I'm not sure who it was. It might have been OGD Farmer. But they said even with the rise of AI agents, actually, in AI agents making their own money, that they can't buy real life stuff, right? So how are AI agents going to flex? They have to buy digital items, right? Which are NFTs, obviously. So there's actually some correlation between the rise of AI agents and the rise of AI agents actually being able to make money and NFTs as well, which I thought was pretty interesting. I hadn't thought about previously. Um, but yeah, I'll stop there. I just think yeah, that was a really good point, Asla. I'm pretty in line with you there.
Never thought of it that way. That's wild. It's true. They can't buy anything in the real world, so they're just gonna flex. They're gonna want to be the biggest flexers on the chain if it ever goes that way. But I mean, yeah, that's a crazy way of looking at it. I like that.
Um, yeah, let's do an overview real quick of NFT stuff.
Oh, let's do it. I'm excited about this. I think a lot of people with heavy bags are happy about this. The second most hated rally in all of crypto, Bored Apes are at 23 ETH. The second
Yeah,
most hated rally.
crazy. Yeah, just a week ago. I mean, I think they've like doubled in price. Up, I'm seeing 88% here on Blur the past week for Bored Apes. Mutants up 92%. Just Bored Apes back to Jake's exit price. Yeah, I think it was around there. Pudgies up 22%, Azuki up 25%, Milady's actually all time high for at least ETH all time high right now. Up at 7 ETH here for Milady's. Doodles up 32%. Bored Ape Kennel Club up 225%. Yeah, I mean a lot. Cool Cats up 180%. Wow. I would have thought. And I think Punks, I don't have Punks in front of me right now, but they're obviously up too.
They're at 44.
Uh,
That's crazy run also.
um, but yeah, man, really exciting. It's they've obviously, if you look at a lot of these charts, they've been trending up for the last few months now, and they've just kind of recently saw a big boom. We're seeing it also not just ETH NFTs, but ordinals. Sorry, I don't have that in front of me as either, but ordinals and also Soul NFTs. You know, Mad Lads, Sensorians are all up. You know, Node Monkeys on ordinals, Puppets are all up quite a bit as well. Yeah, I don't have the daily.
I can
Let's
tell
see
you
here.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Puppets up 16%, No Monkeys up 27%, Quantum Cats up 23%. Um, yeah, you guys get the picture. Yeah, Mad Lad's up 45%, D God's up 80%. Sensorian's up 36%. So yeah, a lot of bids coming in for these OG NFT projects. I mean, it makes sense. Like they got to find a bottom somewhere. And if they're still building, if they're still, you know, have a community of people who remember them and rally behind them, and it's like who's left to sell at this point, right? I mean, you can only go
Exactly.
so low in price. And everyone who didn't want the NFT has certainly capitulated by now. It's been years, right? So it makes sense that there be limited supply out there. There are liquid collections, and when they can pump quite a bit because of that, where they already have, you know, entrenched community members who are holding, where that supply is not really going to be available, at least not for multiples higher from here. And then you have people who have made money recently on things like, especially, you know, the hyper liquid airdrop, which we can talk about too, which was absolutely insane. Might be like the biggest airdrop of this cycle.
Biggest
Um,
airdrop ever.
yeah, actually insane.
Crazy.
Um, and then obviously, you know, people are making money on perps. A lot of altcoins are ripping. You know, Bitcoin obviously is up quite a bit. So, um, when people are more flushed with cash, then they're more willing to start speculating on NFT stuff. And I think that's what we're seeing. And as long as just the general crypto market doesn't, you know, tank, if it ranges or at least trends up, then I can certainly think NFTs will start to actually, you know, coincide with that, where they have been lagging previously. I feel like if we had that continuation of trend of market going up, then I think NFTs are going to be along for the ride as well.
Yeah, I mean NFTs all bear. If you think about it, they performed all right. They found a decent floor. Like a lot of the top ones, like Pudgies and Punks and Apes, got absolutely hammered for sure. Like they came down hard, but they also ran the hardest, right? So, but I mean, if you look at Miladies or Pudgies or even CryptoPunks, they trended at the same sort of floor for months and months and months and months. I mean, at one point, like you said, they're gonna start catching bids. People are gonna be out there. They're gonna be like real collectors are gonna have rotated in during the bear, right? And then it'll just cause an insane pump like we're seeing now. It was eventually gonna happen. And the way I like to see it, look at it is, look how many cycles crypto itself was a scam to people on the outside, right? It was a scam for like many bulls and bears, and it kept being called a scam until actually this run where everybody started kind of accepting it. So NFTs can go through a similar thing where, oh, it's a scam. It was just, people making like basically laundering money, blah blah blah. We heard everything that could be said about NFTs, and a lot of them ended up, yes, being scams, because that's how it is. Even in crypto, a lot of the coins are just garbage, and people want to make money off them. That's fine, but I think eventually they'll be legitimized across the board. And like we see with Pudges creating real companies and stuff, a lot of that is going to happen. They're going to be like respected. The bad stigma of the NFT name is going to go away eventually, and people are going to rush back in. I just always felt that way. I felt like for that to happen though, we had to kind of go through a lot of hardship to so people can, like, like basically come back in disbelief one day and then cause even more of a crazy rally. So yeah, I feel like this year's gonna be big for NFTs. I was never really in the camp to call them dead. That's one of the reasons why I actually held a lot of them too, because I told myself I'm not selling this at bottom. I feel like they are gonna come back just like crypto would, and so that's it. I didn't bid on any either. Like I probably could have or should have, but there was just so much going on that I didn't have the attention span for NFTs during the bear. But yeah, I just feel like just with anything else, it's called a scam until it's not, and this might be happening also with NFTs in the near future. The most hated rally in crypto. We had so much fun with them. How can they not come back? I mean, most of the people that are trading coins now probably started with NFTs last cycle, and now they're doing you could, because you see a lot of the similarities with how they're trading the shit coins, right? They're doing the same thing. They're jumping in and out. They're trying to bot launches. Like, it's all the people that learned how to trade NFTs that are really doing this now. Because I think a large portion of the people that we're seeing naturally, because of how big crypto got in 2020 or 2021, a lot of them when started in 21 and now transferred over to shit coins into meme coins that are very similar to NFTs, but they're coins only, and they're using the same strategies like, on coins. So now that coins are slow, those people might start flowing over to NFTs again, and I think we're already seeing that with their hyper liquid airdrops and stuff. That people made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some people made millions of dollars. They're not going to just hold that in ETH or hyper liquid. They're going to look to spend it, and almost instantly, as soon as that airdrop happened, the whole NFT market took a huge bump.
Yeah.
It's exactly like what we saw last cycle. Exactly like we saw last cycle when people made crazy airdrops. They went straight to NFTs. People want to flex, like you said. People want to flex on chain. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm not the
Yeah,
type to
looks
go buy a
rare.
Rolex. Yeah.
SOS, Blur, yeah.
Blur, exactly. We had a lot of them. SOS was huge. It saved. I remember us being on a crazy downtrend. We're not gonna get like too historical here, but I remember us being on a crazy downtrend, and the SOS came out. I think it was again during the holidays, and everything just started moving like crazy. So,
That's a Christmas
yeah,
gift.
exactly. Yeah, I remember that. It's crazy. It's ingrained in my memory, and so that's it. I just don't think they're ever gonna die. I think people are just gonna keep bidding on them when they do get low. And but Hyperliquid, and I think also what people are overlooking, and we've talked about it in chat a little bit, is Hyperliquid is leading into Magic Eden's airdrop, and a lot of these pumps are happening across the board. Because look, you'd expect ETH NFTs to fly, right? You'd expect also ordinals to catch bids, but you're seeing other stuff like Solana NFTs and stuff. There's pumps across the board, and I think a lot of that is people farming now Magic Eden diamonds because of what they saw what Hyperliquid could do. I don't think Magic Eden is going to come even close to sniffing what Hyperliquid or what HL did for the market. But I still think that's what's happening here. It's like a whole mix of things where coins slowed down, people got a crazy airdrop, and now they're looking to farm the next one. I guarantee you Magic Eden is getting a lot of this volume because people think diamonds are going to be the next big thing. So yeah, I mean, when trading NFTs right now, you need to remember that Magic Eden's TGE is in, I think, 8 days from now, 8 or 9 days from now. So it's in the realm of possibility that as soon as that happens, we see kind of a retrace in the market for NFTs. But still, just something to consider. I don't. It doesn't mean it's gonna 100% happen because I know people love NFTs too, but it's just pumped way too hard in a week or two, where I think that it's not sustainable for the short term, and we might see a retrace as soon as Magic Eden happens. Anybody have a different
Yeah.
take, or even Jake? You can go ahead first, and we'll open it up.
No, yeah, I'd like to hear. I mean, NFTs usually get the people going here in Metaverse HQ, so I'd love to hear some takes, or if you have specific collections that you're bullish on, love to hear that as well. I know we're kind of seems like it still seems like pretty early into the run personally, so I'd love to hear thoughts here. I haven't really been looking too much into the NFT collections this run so far, so I'm not as up to date as maybe some others are.
Wow, everybody's that shocked and they have PTSD, Jake. They can't even speak. Azuki, that's a good call. I like Azuki. I think
Well,
I'm
yeah,
still holding
pocket
mine.
which
Yeah. Yeah,
uh
I feel like Azuki's it hasn't pumped enough compared to the rest. I think that one's gonna go higher, and I actually in my mind that might be the only one I never sell because I like my Azuki. I might just sell everything else and keep that as a PFP. But I
yeah,
think
that
this,
actually is
yeah,
probably a good call.
yeah. Board apes.
Um,
I have my range for board apes, mutants, all that. Pudgies, I'm on the fence about. I think it's pretty crazy to have like my brain is different than it was last cycle. I think having an NFT that's 20 or 30 ETH worth. You know what I mean? With ETH flying, I think it's just dumb. I'm gonna look for exits on those, but Azuki, I'll hold, man. I think I'll just sell everything else to hold my Azuki.
I think yeah, I like it. I think it makes I like I'd say like I'm kind of like in the market like soon probably on getting back in NFT stuff, and I think what I like the most right now it's appealing to me is ordinals. Um just cuz they've been around long enough now, like over a year, so for these major collections, to where they've established obviously a pretty deep rooted community. And they also launched during the bear, which I think helps a good amount. There's not people who have came in last cycle and got burned by these collections. So there's not like any type of really bad ill will there. Which I think can, there can be put like it helps in terms of like awareness of the collection, but I also think it could hurt in terms of people selling once it hits like the previous all-time highs or whatever. Whereas these ordinal collections, they can just enter price discovery and like who knows where the top is, right? And the fact that it's on Bitcoin, I think helps a lot. Um, the biggest con is the infrastructure and like actually going to buy the is more complicated. But I think that's why I like some of the higher ticketed ones. Like I think puppets are probably the most interesting to me. It seems like it has the most like deep rooted community. I see the most like puppets on the timeline. I'd say of like also like sharp people who are in it as well, and they just seem kind of like they don't really give a fuck type people, like good vibes. Um, so I feel like that's probably where I would focus on if I had to choose any NFT collection right now. It'd probably be ordinals and it'd probably be puppets if I had to choose one of the ordinals. But I do think there's some stuff that looks pretty decent right now. Azuki's actually one as well. Zuki, Pudgy, Milady, Apes. Um, all probably I would think continue to do pretty decent here.
Yeah, those are good calls. I agree. The only thing I always like worry about is if crypto runs hard, what happens with these floors. Like let's say Bitcoin does get to 250. And I know that's not just gonna teleport there, but let's say it does. That just means your 0.16 for your Bitcoin puppets is actually 2.5 times more than it was, like this is things we saw last cycle too with NFTs. We're all very used to it, but once like it takes a while for them to catch up again. So I feel like, man, I'm just setting I think I'm just gonna set exit points for them and maybe buy back in when the crypto runs. Like ordinal, same thing. Let's say Bitcoin puppets get to 0.25. I'm happy with a quarter Bitcoin in value. I have one left, so it's hard to choose when to let it go. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm gonna play a lot more with that this year because I know we're gonna go much higher in crypto. So I feel like I'm gonna probably get out of my NFTs and along the way and get back in when they dip when crypto runs. I'm gonna try to time that. It's not always easy, but yeah, I don't want to get. That's probably one way that I'm gonna one of the tools I'll use to not be attached to NFTs as much as I was last cycle because I do love them, but I don't want to get stuck in oh, this is my identity now. Let other people think like that. I just want to make my money this year, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
incredibly bullish still, you know? It's just,
Man,
yeah,
no other NFT takes in the crowd.
I
yeah,
could
yeah.
have the take, but I was seeing if somebody else had a take first. But I'm
Yeah,
happy to
might
add
as
the
well,
thought.
bro. You're always welcome to talk. Let's hear it, bro.
I think I think I don't see. I'm not as adept as you, Jinzo, but I don't see anywhere. I'm just bullish. I'm very bullish. I think the damage has been done already, which is the punks and apes running, and now all of a sudden that legitimizes us in our space, right? To any
Yeah.
normie that would exist, but the thing that's beneficial to us, I think, is and why I think we're kind of a little bit still in like accumulation phase, in quotes for things that have already existed, is because we haven't hit 100K. So what's weird about right now is because we haven't hit 100K and we're ranging between let's say 90 and 100, which is I'm not a TA, but what I think is going to happen for the rest of the year, everything else is starting to run, like the tokens, and we're starting to see some NFTs move, but it hasn't hit like major media yet with big, huge wins and Bitcoin at 100K and so on and so forth. And as soon as that tips over, the floodgates are going to open even more at that point, right? So I'm bullish. I'm very bullish, be it for 4 months, 6 months, whatever else it is, but I'm bullish right now, and I think it's going to be, even though choppy, like just up, in my opinion. I think the good damage has been done for us.
Yep. I mostly agree. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's always that relation between crypto and NFTs that get me like nervous a little bit. But other than that, I feel like we both kind of said the same thing. We're seeing a lot of rotation back into it because of how good we felt on NFTs, and a lot of people started with NFTs, right? And yeah, a lot of the disbelief's gonna come too. We haven't had the disbelief yet from retail of them having seen what NFTs did, and how having seen how much money people made on NFTs. We haven't got to that point yet where retail is saying, "Oh crap, NFTs are back." That's when we really get going, I think. But yeah, it's very intricate cycle. It's gonna be crazy to see how everything plays off itself, like what comes after the pump we're currently in, right? Like there's just so much going on that just be involved, I guess, is the message. Be involved and try not to lose focus too much. Focus on what you're good at and expand from there, because even if it's not your current niche that's pumping, it will come. And there's still things to do even within your niche when people are focused on another one. So yeah, I think that's mostly my message going forward is, focus on what you're good at. And even if it's not the current hot meta, it's going to come, whether it be NFTs or the main coins or altcoins or shitcoins, whatever it is that you're good at. Um, Keep focusing on that and maybe learning another one while you're at it, just because I think the rotation happens. Cycles are cycles for a reason. They just keep coming back. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden to the next, to the next, to the next. So, yeah.
I've personally had at least, I don't know, maybe at least 20 plus times, maybe more, where I've had my friends that are like not so digital native, make fun of, whatever NFT down the shitter, right? And be like, hey, here's this image, during the bear, here's this image, you still taking this, Aiden or Esla, you still want this? Huh, I just thought to myself. Um, and like so many times that that's the case, right? And they don't realize yet that wind hasn't hit them, that this is real, right? This is actually something that's going to persist. As soon as they realize that, it's over at that point. All bets are off.
The bottom line of NFTs is that in the end, it is crypto, still the same, but just with an image on it. They don't realize that. People don't understand. It's exactly the same. It's just that it's not as fractionalized as coins, and it has digital images that you can identify with. It's just, you know what I mean? The same thing, but different. Anyway, that's one. Actually, that's another downside of NFTs that I find is as they run higher, sure they become inaccessible and they become, you know what I mean, exotic, let's say, and the top ones only go to the rich or whatever, or to people that are rotating into them. But at the same time, the other side of it is it's kind of limited in a way in total market cap because it's not as accessible and fractionalized, kind of like coins where anybody can buy a certain small fraction and be involved, right? So that's also another thing that I think is limiting on the upside, where yeah, maybe we do see Bored Apes at 100 again, but we're not going to see hundreds of sales per day unless it's people just farming, right? Just because of where ETH is going to go. Let's say it's 10K and Bored Apes are at 100K, bro. That's insane. You know what I mean? We're talking about a $1 million asset. So yeah, but I think yeah, in general, I'm super bullish on NFTs, and I think as a whole, with mints and stuff, we'll get going again. I'm just really sad for myself and my personal time because if that happens, that means I'll be doing 30 entries, 40 entries a day again on the drop list, and I'm not excited about that one bit.
um, yeah, over the hour mark now. I did want to real quick touch on um AI agents for a second before we wrapped it up here. I gotta head out here in like 10, 15 minutes. I got someone coming over to sweep the chimney. um but yeah, I wanted to shout out. We talked about last week and I think a couple weeks ago as well, but this AI XBT agent account I think is really good. I just want to shout it out once again for people who
Favorite
missed
account.
or not watching it or not looking at it, but I think it's like legit like good enough that you can put notifications on for it. It just tweets like a bunch of alpha about different DeFi coins, about meme coins, about NFT projects, whatever. And it also will reply to you if you have questions and stuff. And it like talks like it's a normal degen in the trenches. It's actually pretty insane. They have a coin as well. Uh, I don't have any of this coin, but I'm certainly looking to size in here soon after what I'm hopefully anticipating we get a little retrace here. Um, and then also there's a similar one. These are both on base, both launched under the virtuals launchpad for AI agents. This other one is NFT XBT. So pretty much similar as the AI one, but they're just specifically focused on NFT stuff. Um, I think they have their own um, dashboard, I want to say as well. And this AI XBT has referenced the NFT one as well, so it's like being recognized by the other agent. And there's also been, let's see here, sorry, let me find it. Oh yeah, here's like a tweet about it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point, Van Squeeb. NFT XBT hasn't started tweeting like AI XBT yet. They're still building it. Um, and I don't think it's a rug because FX Hash is working with them. And FX Hash is a Gen Art platform, a legitimate platform that's been around for a while. I think they have a lot of stuff on like Tezos. I think has been like what they're mainly known for, but they're on ETH and Base as well, and I think maybe a couple other chains. So they're kind of like working with them behind the scenes. So that's why I do think it's like a legitimate, not just like a um, random project. And also Wintermute, which is the market maker platform. They've been buying a bunch of NFT XBT as well. They did the same with AI XBT. Um, and even like the AI XBT account like tweeted about it, how they were buying it up. So I think both I like both of them a lot because they're not just like another AI agent chatbot. They provide actual alpha. Whereas this NFT one hasn't yet, but obviously once it does, I would anticipate price of the coin to increase NFA. So if you believe in it and you get in early, or you can obviously wait and see if it's useful advice, or if the bot works fine, that's fine too. But I want to at least put it out on your guys' radar. Even if you don't buy the coin, just like to follow the account, I think it's good information. But there's also like a coin that's attached, and if you have a certain amount of the coin for the AI XBT, you can access their terminal and get a bunch of insight from like their backend data and talk to the bot via their terminal. If you own the coin, so there's actual utility with the coin too. For the AI XBT one, I haven't looked enough into the NFT XBT one if it's going to work the same. But just in general, I think there's probably like an oversaturation of AI chatbots now with coins attached, where many of them like don't need a coin. There's not really a point to have a coin. It's just kind of the fad thing. It's more of a meme. Whereas these fit in the category where it's actually useful. And it's actually good enough information that I've turned on notifications for one of the agents. Um, so yeah, I just want to put it on people's radar because I think It could have a nice upside from here. We'll see. NFA, obviously. Do your own research.
My favorite account out there right now, AIXBT. It just I don't have to do anything, and the info just comes to me, and it's widespread. It's not just about one thing. It could be about anything crypto, and it's actually really good info. I'm very impressed with what they did with that. It's just been so good at condensing info and sending it quick. It's gonna put a lot of people out of business. That site that Twitter. NFTXBT, thank you for that. I'm actually looking at it right now, and the price looks good. 11 mil compared to some of the other ones that are at 100 plus. So I'm thinking, and it's down heavy. So I'm probably gonna get some of this one. I like it. I don't even know about this one yet. Good calls. But I think, yeah, AI agents. There's so many, and I think a lot of them are kind of useless and boring. I think a lot of them will eventually catch some bids, but I'm focusing mostly on the quality ones. I don't have any AI tokens right now, except for some NFTs for Cerebro. Actually, that's another one. They came out with a whole album. I don't know if we even touched it. Was that last week? No, it must have been this week. He came out. So, really good album. Actually, I was impressed with what they came out as a music album. If you want to look at for it, it's on Spotify. So that's cool. I mean, they're doing something a little different, but most of the other ones I'm just not really interested in right now until they show me something different than just chatting and responding and memeing on Twitter. I don't think I'm not very bullish on the actual tweeting itself, just because I think it's going to become a lot of pollution, and we're going to end up just blocking a lot of these
Yeah.
accounts if they become too much. So I'm more focusing on the substance, and AIXBT has been incredible. Like, if you didn't know AI existed, you'd think that's a real account and that it's someone that's just that good at finding info. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I think a lot of these like chatbot ones are overinflated in my opinion, and I'm already seeing people complain on Twitter about how they're just like there's just spam of these AI agents everywhere, and I could see Twitter start to ban some of these accounts
Yeah, it's possible.
too, which would obviously be very bad for the coin. So I think there's decent amount of risk there if it's just like a bot that's just like spamming nonsense in people's replies all
Yeah.
the time. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to bring that up real quick. Also, a really good site um, is this cookie.fun site. A good tool to add to your repertoire. We always talk about how we're trading attention in this space a lot of times, and this is a good data source for that. I think it might do more than just AI agents, if I'm not mistaken, but this one specifically, at least, is AI agents. You can see basically mindshare, which is it says mindshare is the percentage of the total conversation volume that a particular agent has in relation to all the conversation regarding these agents. Basically, like how like people are talking about them, like how many people are talking about this agent. And you can obviously see like the mind share versus what their market cap is, and just to try and find, some underrated ones that are getting talked about a bunch, but maybe their market cap hasn't caught up quite yet. And if you look on here, like AI XPT is dominating mind share right now. It's at like 25% of all mind share of these bots. And like Zero Bros next, and then Goat. But yeah, they're like much lower. But also have higher market caps. So I think that's interesting distinction, and you can obviously follow, up and coming ones too that are starting to get talked about more and more, and you could potentially spot, plays that are a bit under the radar but are getting traction. So I think this is a really useful tool as well.
Very cool. I didn't even know about this. This is perfect. It's gonna give me a good idea of what people are looking at. AIXBT is crushing, man, and with good reason. It must have been a crazy week for AIXBT. Nothing else to
Um,
add, Jake. If you wanna, if you have a hard out, I could wrap up and give some reminders and stuff. It's up to you.
yeah, go ahead. I got like 5 minutes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for AI agents. I just wanted to give a couple of reminders. If you do have, well, first of all, yeah, Magic Eden. If you're farming it, get ready. It's coming very soon. I think it's on the 8th or the 9th. I don't know, 9th or 10th that it's launching. So that's gonna be another little stimmy. If you have a Mad Lad or a Pudgy Penguin, or hold on, I'll check non-time sensitive because I put a post in there. But you can direct yourself to non-time sensitive. But there's an airdrop coming called Blue. It's another sort of perp trading platform and swapping platform, and they have an basically an allocation for Mad Lads, for Pudgy Penguins, Azuki, and Prime Machine, whatever that is. And actually, some other tokens too. I think people that had Aero in their wallet can also connect to this site and collect an airdrop. So go ahead and connect, do the steps there. You're gonna have to basically link your MetaMask or your Phantom or whatever wallet, Solana or Ethereum. Then you're gonna wanna basically link a Sui wallet and do one small like add like a few bucks to a liquidity pool over there, and you'll be eligible for their airdrop. So get that done. I think it's open now, like this week, this month, whatever it might be, and they were supposed to launch it in Q4. Looks to me like it might get pushed because we are in Q4, so I don't know if they're planning on launching end of December or maybe early Q1, but free money, so go ahead and do that. And yeah, I think we're gonna enter airdrop season again, it looks like, so just keep your eye out for that and try to farm the ones that people aren't farming as heavily. Other than that, yeah, I mean, we have there was one other one I wanted to touch on. What was it? Oh yeah, we're doing shit coins and Haktua's coin is dropping. I think it's tomorrow. I'm just gonna caution people on that. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of hype and excitement around it, but I think it's gonna get sniped to hell when she drops her coin, Haley Welsh, when she drops her Tua coin because she already dropped the contract address and people are probably gonna have their bots ready to get that on early because so many people are looking at it. Personally, I'm just gonna stay out of that one completely, but I'm gonna watch the bloodbath from far. You guys do what you want, but just a little warning that people are gonna snipe that one heavily. And if you are looking to get involved, make sure you don't FOMO in at top. It's gonna. I personally think it's gonna get ugly. NFA. But yeah, and there's also a BTC mint for we did a giveaway for it for the free Ross NFTs, and that's coming. I forget the day. I think it's today or tomorrow. I'll have to look into that a little more. But we're gonna be able to mint that too, and that's it. I don't have much else. We do have one mission ending on the platform. Let me just take a look quick. Forget what it is. I didn't have the tab open. Sorry for the delay. Oh yeah, it's a Genius Social Engineer whitelist. That's ending in tomorrow, I think it is, and then Sonium is ending in 7 days. That one's heavily farmed. It's for Sony's chain that they're building. So that one's a good one to get involved in. But that's it. I have not much else to add. Last chance if anybody wants to come up here and talk about something, either airdrops or whatever. Let us know what you're farming. If not, we'll wrap it up.
Did you mention Town Hall?
Town Hall. When is that?
Town Hall tomorrow, 2
Tomorrow,
p.m.
right?
Eastern. HQ, baby.
Big
We've been tweeting
one.
about it, teasing it, but
Yeah, we
learn
weren't able to
more.
talk about it yet. Yeah.
Yeah, learn more in our town hall tomorrow. Come through. It will be recorded, of course, if you can't make it, but obviously we'd like to make it. That way you can ask any questions in real time of us too. Um, but yeah, that should be really fun. I did want to real quick. I forgot to mention. Just want to get burned if you are looking at these the AI XBT agent as well as the NFT XBT agent and any other agent on virtuals on base. You have to swap to the virtual token on their site and then swap. So you have to swap from ETH to virtual on base, and then you have to swap from virtual to whatever the token is. There is a way you can buy it through like BullX or Photon or whatever, or Dex Screener, but if you look at the liquidity, it's super low, so you'll get like a really bad price. So I would definitely not do that. Um, so make sure if you are gonna buy or sell these tokens, do so via swapping through virtual first.
Yeah, I feel like that's gate kept it a little bit because people are lazy to do that and they can't find it, or else a lot of these would be much higher. It's a little bit of a downside, but I mean, good thing for people that are looking to buy in.
Yeah. But yeah, I got to dip. Thanks y'all for joining. Thank you, Jinzo. Thank you,
Thank you,
as well
Jake.
everyone else that contributed.
Have a good day. Take care, everybody. That was Wake and Jake for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Catch you on Boss Dogs tonight at 5. p.m. Eastern, and don't forget to join us for our shitcoin talk on Wednesday. And our town hall. Don't forget our town hall tomorrow. Come learn about HQ token that we finally started teasing and launching. Tomorrow you'll get a lot more details. So I'm excited about that. See you tomorrow or later and tomorrow.